This is the executive summary. Today we are breaking down Good to Great by Jim Collins. If this is your first time here, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps us keep making these summaries. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, if you want the core lessons from the world's best leadership books delivered every week, hit subscribe and the notification bell right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it's the best decision you'll make today. Now let's get into it. Does your organization merely exist, or does it truly excel? Many leaders aspire to greatness, yet few understand the precise, disciplined path required to transcend mere goodness. The conventional wisdom often points to charismatic leadership, revolutionary technology, or sudden, dramatic shifts. But what if these assumptions are fundamentally flawed? What if the leap from good to great is not about a singular, heroic act, but a systematic, almost counterintuitive process of disciplined choices consistently applied? This question lies at the heart of one of the most influential leadership texts of the modern era. It challenges the very notion that greatness is reserved for the fortunate few, or that it emerges from extraordinary circumstances. Instead, it posits that greatness is a conscious, deliberate choice, accessible to any entity willing to embrace a specific set of principles. It argues that the true differentiator is not what you do, but how you do it, and crucially, who you do it with. Understanding this distinction is not merely academic. It is foundational for any leader committed to building something truly enduring, something that defies the gravitational pull of mediocrity. It offers a blueprint for transformation, grounded not in theory, but in rigorous, empirical evidence. If you want the core lessons from the world's best leadership books delivered every week, hit subscribe and the notification bell. Let's get into it. The year 2001 saw the publication of a book that would fundamentally reshape our understanding of organizational excellence. Jim Collins' Good to Great. Authored by a former Stanford Graduate School of Business faculty member and a renowned management consultant, Collins brought an unprecedented level of academic rigor to the study of corporate success. His work is not based on conjecture or anecdotal evidence, but on extensive, multi-year research studies, often involving large teams and meticulous data analysis. This methodical approach lends immense credibility to his findings, positioning him as a leading authority on what drives sustained organizational performance. The core problem Good to Great addresses is the pervasive mediocrity that plagues so many organizations. It seeks to unravel the mystery of why some companies manage to make the leap from being merely good, or even average, to achieving sustained, superior results, while others, operating in similar environments, remain stuck. Before Collins' work, much of the discourse around business success was often attributed to charismatic CEOs, revolutionary products, or favorable market conditions. Good to Great challenged these simplistic narratives. This book became a landmark in leadership literature precisely because it moved beyond the superficial and the anecdotal. It offered a data-driven, systematic framework, providing actionable insights that resonated across diverse sectors. Its concepts, such as Level 5 leadership, the Hedgehog concept, and the Stockdale paradox, were not just catchy phrases. They were distilled principles derived from observing companies that had genuinely achieved enduring excellence. The impact of Good to Great has been profound and far-reaching. It's not just Fortune 500 CEOs who have devoured its pages. Military commanders have applied its principles to strategic planning. Senior pastors have used its insights to grow their congregations. Nonprofit executives have leveraged its framework for greater social impact, and countless entrepreneurs have built their ventures upon its foundations. Essentially, any ambitious leader, regardless of their sector, seeking to transform their organization from good to truly great, finds immense value within its pages. The central argument of the book is both powerful and liberating. Greatness is not a matter of circumstance, but a conscious, disciplined choice. It is achievable by any organization willing to apply a specific set of principles consistently over time. It suggests that the path to greatness is not a secret, but a discipline, and that the answers lie within the organization itself, not in external factors or fleeting trends. Let us now delve into the foundational lessons Jim Collins meticulously uncovered. Lesson 1. Level 5 Leadership. The conventional image of a great leader often conjures a charismatic, larger-than-life figure, a visionary who inspires through sheer force of personality. Jim Collins, however, presents a profoundly different and perhaps counterintuitive picture He posits that great leaders are not necessarily these flamboyant figures, but rather paradoxical blends of extreme personal humility and intense professional will. This is what he terms level 5 leadership. Collins explains that level 5 leaders channel their ego needs away from themselves and into the larger goal of building a great company. They are fanatically driven to produce sustained results, often setting up their successors for even greater success, rather than guarding their own legacy. Critically, when things go well, they look out the window, attributing success to external factors, to their team, or to good fortune. When things go poorly, they look in the mirror, taking full responsibility for failures. They are not afraid to make difficult decisions, but their motivation is always the long-term health and greatness of the organization, not personal glory. Consider the example of Darwin Smith, who served as CEO of Kimberly-Clark for 20 years. Smith was a quiet, unassuming man, far from the stereotypical charismatic leader. He never sought the limelight, preferring to work diligently behind the scenes. Yet, under his leadership, he transformed Kimberly-Clark from a mediocre paper mill into the world's leading consumer paper products company, surpassing industry giants like Scott Paper and Procter & Gamble. He made bold, strategic decisions, such as divesting the company's traditional paper mills to focus on consumer brands like Huggies and Kleenex, a move that many analysts at the time considered foolish. Smith embodied level 5 leadership. He had an unwavering professional will to build a great company, coupled with a deep personal humility that allowed him to make tough calls without ego getting in the way. He built an enduring enterprise that thrived long after his departure. The viewer challenge for you is this: how much of your leadership ego is focused on personal recognition versus building something truly enduring that transcends your tenure? Are you looking in the mirror for failures and out the window for successes, or the other way around? Lesson 2. First who, then what? One of the most profound and actionable insights from good to great is the principle: first who, then what. This challenges the common belief that strategy comes first. Collins argues that great companies first get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats, and only then do they figure out where to drive it. The author contends that the who question must precede the what question. Good to great leaders understand that if you have the right people, individuals who are self-motivated, disciplined, and aligned with the company's values, they will figure out the best path forward, adapt to change, and execute brilliantly. Conversely, if you have the wrong people, no amount of brilliant vision or sophisticated strategy will save you. The right people are an organization's greatest asset, capable of navigating uncertainty and seizing opportunities that might not even be apparent at the outset. Wells Fargo provides a compelling illustration of this principle. Under the leadership of Dick Cooley, Wells Fargo consciously built a management team of exceptional talent. Cooley famously stated that he aimed to hire people smarter than himself. He focused relentlessly on attracting and retaining top-tier talent, creating a culture where high-caliber individuals thrived. This team, comprised of the right people, then collectively navigated significant industry changes, including deregulation and intense competition. They didn't start with a grand strategy, they started with a grand team. It was this collective intelligence and capability that allowed Wells Fargo to build a highly successful and enduring financial institution, consistently outperforming its peers. The strategy emerged organically from the capabilities of the people. The viewer challenge here is direct. Are you prioritizing talent acquisition and retention over strategy development? Or are you trying to execute a brilliant strategy with a mediocre team? Lesson 3. Confront the brutal facts, yet never lose faith. This lesson introduces what Jim Collins famously termed the Stockdale paradox, named after Admiral Jim Stockdale. The principle states that leaders must maintain unwavering faith that they can and will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, and at the same time have the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of their current reality, whatever they might be. Collins explains that great leaders possess a dual capacity. They instill confidence and an ultimate belief in success, while simultaneously demanding an honest, unvarnished assessment of current challenges and difficulties. They cultivate a culture where truth is heard, no matter how unpleasant or inconvenient, and then they act decisively based on that truth. This isn't about pessimism. It's about realism combined with an indomitable will to succeed. It means never sugarcoating the present while never losing sight of the future. Admiral Jim Stockdale's experience as a prisoner of war in Vietnam vividly illustrates this paradox. Captured in 1965, he endured 8 years of torture and isolation. He observed that those who perished were often the optimists who believed they would be home by Christmas, then Easter, then Thanksgiving, only to succumb to disappointment when their hopes were repeatedly dashed. Stockdale, however, never lost faith that he would eventually be released and prevail. Yet, he simultaneously confronted the brutal reality of his situation, understanding that he might be there for a very long time. He used this dual perspective to survive and lead his fellow prisoners. He faced the facts, however grim, without ever losing his ultimate faith. The viewer challenge for you is this. Are you creating an environment where bad news travels fast and unfiltered, or are people afraid to bring you the brutal facts for fear of reprisal or disappointment? Lesson 4. The Hedgehog Concept. In a complex and often chaotic business world, many organizations struggle with focus, constantly chasing new opportunities or reacting to external pressures. Jim Collins introduces the Hedgehog Concept as a powerful antidote to this diffusion of effort. The principle states that great companies simplify a complex world into a single, unifying idea that guides all decisions. This concept is derived from an ancient Greek parable. The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. The hedgehog concept emerges from the intersection of 3 fundamental circles. 1. What you are deeply passionate about. This isn't about what you should be passionate about, but what genuinely ignites your organization's collective enthusiasm. 2. What you could be the best in the world at. This is not about being good, but about having a realistic understanding of what your organization can truly excel at, better than anyone else. It requires a deep self-assessment, not just aspiration. 3. What drives your economic engine? This refers to the single most important economic denominator that drives your profitability and cash flow. For some, it might be profit per customer. For others, profit per store or profit per employee. Collins clarifies that the hedgehog concept is not a goal, a strategy, or even a vision statement. It is a deep understanding. It helps organizations focus their efforts and resources on what truly matters, avoiding distractions and achieving profound clarity on their unique contribution and sustainable competitive advantage. It's about finding the one thing you can do better than anyone else that you love doing and that makes you money. Walgreens provides an excellent real-world example. For decades, Walgreens was a good drugstore chain, but not great. Through a rigorous application of the hedgehog concept, they identified their unique intersection. They were passionate about convenience and community service. They could be the best in the world at operating highly convenient drugstores, and their economic engine was driven by profit per customer visit. Armed with this clarity, they systematically divested from all non-core ventures, such as restaurants and manufacturing, and relentlessly focused on becoming the most convenient neighborhood drugstores. They placed stores on prime street corners, implemented drive-through pharmacies, and optimized store layouts for quick, easy access. This singular focus, born from their hedgehog concept, transformed them into a truly great company, consistently outperforming the general market. The viewer challenge for you is this. Can you articulate your organization's hedgehog concept in a single, clear statement that aligns your passion, capabilities, and economic model? If not, what steps will you take to discover it? Lesson 5. A culture of discipline. Many leaders equate discipline with rigid hierarchy, micromanagement, or oppressive control. Jim Collins, however, presents a more nuanced and powerful interpretation. He asserts that great companies build a culture of disciplined people who engage in disciplined thought and take disciplined action, operating within a framework of freedom and responsibility. Collins emphasizes that this isn't about tyrannical discipline imposed from above, but about self-disciplined people who are fanatically consistent with the organization's hedgehog concept. Within this clear framework, these individuals are given the freedom to innovate, experiment, and take initiative. The discipline is not about what they do, but how they do it consistently, rigorously, and aligned with the core purpose. This combination of freedom within a framework of responsibility and discipline leads to superior, sustained performance. It's about having highly capable people who don't need to be managed, but who manage themselves within a clear set of guidelines. Nucor, a steel company, exemplifies this culture of discipline. In an industry often plagued by inefficiency and labor disputes, Nucor fostered a culture where employees had significant autonomy and were empowered to make decisions. However, this freedom was coupled with intense accountability for results and an unwavering adherence to lean, efficient processes. Employees were expected to be self-starters, problem solvers, and contributors to the company's relentless pursuit of cost efficiency and quality. This disciplined approach, driven by empowered individuals rather than top-down control, allowed Nucor to consistently outperform larger, more established competitors, becoming a leader in the steel industry. The viewer challenge for you is, are you fostering a culture of self-disciplined people who operate within a clear framework, or are you resorting to micromanagement or struggling with a lack of accountability? Lesson 6. Technology accelerators. In the modern business landscape, there's often an almost religious belief in technology as the primary driver of success. Companies frantically chase the latest innovations, hoping a technological silver bullet will solve their problems or propel them to greatness. Jim Collins offers a critical corrective to this perspective, stating that technology is an accelerator, not a creator of momentum. Great companies use technology to amplify their hedgehog concept, not as a primary means to achieve greatness. Collins explains that good to great companies think differently about technology. They avoid technology fads and resist the temptation to adopt new technologies simply because they are new or popular. Instead, they carefully select and apply technology that directly aligns with and enhances their hedgehog concept. Technology, for these companies, is a tool to accelerate their core strengths and amplify their unique value proposition. It is never used to compensate for a lack of discipline, a fuzzy strategy, or an absence of the right people. They build their momentum through disciplined people, thought, and action, and then they use technology to accelerate that momentum. Wells Fargo, again, serves as a pertinent example. While they were early adopters of technology, such as ATMs and online banking, they didn't chase every new tech trend that emerged. Their approach was strategic and disciplined. They applied technology to enhance their core banking services, improve customer convenience, and streamline operations, all of which aligned perfectly with their first who, then what approach and their hedgehog concept of being a highly efficient and customer-centric financial institution. They didn't view technology as a magic solution, but as a powerful amplifier for their established strengths and strategy. The viewer challenge for you is this. Are you investing in technology to amplify your core strengths and accelerate your unique value proposition? Or are you chasing the latest tech trends hoping they'll solve deeper organizational issues that require more fundamental, disciplined solutions? Having absorbed these profound lessons, the critical question becomes, how do we translate this knowledge into immediate, tangible action? Here are 3 concrete moves you can implement this week to begin your own journey from good to great. Move 1. The right people audit. This week, identify the top 3 critical roles in your organization. These are the positions whose occupants have the most significant impact on your core mission. For each of these roles, ask yourself a brutally honest question. If this person left tomorrow, would I hire them again without hesitation? If the answer is anything but a resounding yes, then you have a wrong person in the right seat, or even a wrong person on the bus situation. Begin a discreet, yet deliberate, plan to either develop them to meet the standard or find a better fit. This process starts not with dismissal, but with a courageous, honest conversation about performance, expectations, and alignment with the organization's trajectory. Remember, the who comes before the what. Move 2. Brutal facts session. Schedule a dedicated, uninterrupted 30-minute meeting with your core leadership team. The only agenda item for this session is, what are the 3 most brutal, uncomfortable truths we are currently facing that we are not adequately addressing? Crucially, you must ensure a psychologically safe environment where everyone feels completely comfortable speaking candidly, without fear of judgment or reprisal. Actively listen without defensiveness or attempting to solve the problems immediately. The goal is simply to surface these difficult realities, to confront the brutal facts, and to acknowledge them collectively. This practice builds trust and lays the groundwork for informed, decisive action. Move 3. Hedgehog concept check. Gather your team, or at least your key strategic thinkers, and arm yourselves with a whiteboard or large paper. Draw 3 overlapping circles. Label the first. What are we deeply passionate about? Label the second. What can we be the best in the world at? And label the third. What drives our economic engine? Spend a focused 60 minutes brainstorming answers for each circle. Encourage honest, unvarnished contributions. Once you have a comprehensive list within each circle, collaboratively identify the single, unifying concept that lies at their intersection. This is your organization's hedgehog concept. If you struggle to articulate it clearly, or if the circles don't meaningfully overlap, then discovering and refining this concept is your single most important strategic work for the foreseeable future. The journey from good to great is not about a single, dramatic event, but a cumulative process of disciplined people applying disciplined thought and disciplined action consistently over time to achieve breakthrough results. It is a path available to all who choose to walk it with conviction and rigor. If you found these insights valuable, please like this video and subscribe to the executive summary. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, ensuring you receive the distilled wisdom from the world's most impactful leadership literature directly. Next week, we're breaking down another essential text that challenges conventional thinking and provides actionable strategies for leadership excellence. Until then, lead with purpose, lead with discipline, and aspire to greatness. That is the executive summary's breakdown of Good to Great by Jim Collins. The best leaders are not the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who think the clearest. Subscribe to the executive summary and share this with someone on your team who needs to hear it. We will see you in the next one.